A lot of people ask me this question, which is why is it that when I create a C# project or a program that my code ends up like this? Whereas in the past, I have seen examples like this where you need the main method and then you need a write line here, you need a class called program, and you need this namespace here. Whereas newer versions of C# just have this line and I do not understand it. So this one over here has a proper structure. So you can see this is a class, and then within the class, you've got the main method. It's much more organized, whereas here you're just seeing one line of code, but there's no guidance as to how or why this works. Basically, Microsoft have tried in the best attempt to make this simpler for you to learn C# quicker. So they have removed unnecessary lines of code. I think altogether you would say about 10, 11 lines of code, curly braces, and so on. So they said, well, actually, why don't you just start your program like this? So here you've got one line. You don't need to declare a class. You don't need to declare a main method. You just basically start coding away. Behind the scenes, what the C# compiler will do is it will actually add the main method, it will add the class, and namespaces are optional, so it doesn't really have to add them. So this code works because behind the scenes, when the compiler compiles this, it will add all this for you. But Microsoft have decided you do not need to see all that if you are new to programming. Why would you want to create all this and make it more complex? Isn't this simpler? This is simpler, and you can just start coding away without having to worry about creating a class or a method and so on. You just write your code and it runs. Because if I run this here, you can see that we do get the output and it says hello from the second app. And if I run the third app here, you will see that that also works and we get hello from the third app. Both of these produce the same output other than the string I changed here, but this one just has less code. So in summary, you just need to be aware when you write your code like this, or the C# template give you this code, this is equivalent to this. This is just an older way of and more structured way of doing it. And I would recommend learning this approach, but also be aware that behind the scenes, you're actually getting the compiler to do this for you, while this looks cleaner and easier to read, while this one looks a bit more complex. So I hope I have explained to you why we have this difference now in C#, but previously you had this structure and you might have seen it in books elsewhere and Stack Overflow